Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we will discuss about Apex class and objects. So what is a class? So a class is a blueprint that defines data and behavior. Data means fields or variables and behavior means methods. And now what is an object? Object is an instance of a class which is created at the runtime. Now let's take an example of Apex class. So here we have created a blueprint, okay, for account handler. So name of the class is Apex account helper, and this is account name, this is a variable, and this is method. Okay. So this is the behavior and how class behaves, and this is the data. Okay. So if we want to, you know, execute this method, so how we will do this? Since we are not using any static type for the method, so we will use the instance of an object to display this. So let's execute this. Okay. So here we have created instance of the account helper class, and we will populate account name, and then we will execute the method. Okay. So if I execute the method, I will see the debug. Account name and account name. Okay. You see, account name Acme Incorporation. Okay. So now let's discuss about access modifier in Apex. So we have mainly 4 modifiers: public. Public means the class can be accessible anywhere in the org. Okay. And second is private. Private class can be accessible. Private means the private method or variable that can be accessible within the class only. Okay. Since if here the variable was public, that's why we could initialize it outside of the class. Okay. But if it is private, then we cannot access it outside of the class. Okay. For example, if I create it private. So I will get an error when populating this. You see, variable is not visible. Why? Because this is private now. Okay. Third is protected. So protected means this is accessible. Protected means if it is protected, method is protected. Okay. So that means it's accessible in the same class, but in its inner or subclasses. Okay. And using virtual or abstract keyword. So we need abstract and virtual keyword in inner classes, then only it can be referred. So we will see its example in upcoming session. Okay. Now fourth one is global. So if a method is global, then it means this method can be accessed outside of the manage package. Okay. So if we want to write method as a global, then its class also should be global, otherwise we will get an error. Okay. Let's say if I try to make it global, so Salesforce will not allow me. You see, It's saying that class should be global, then only you can declare method as global. So I will need to create this as global, then only it will be saved. Okay. So in this session we have seen how we can create a class, what is the use of class, okay, and how we can access its variable and methods, and what are its access modifiers. Okay. Now let's talk about its constructor. Constructor initializes a new object when it's created. Okay. So here we don't have any constructor, means we have not written any constructor. So default constructor will be called. So here default constructor is called. Okay. We are just initializing it. So default constructor will be called. But constructor can be overloaded using different parameters. Okay. And it should be same name as class. Okay. So let's take an example. Let's say instead of updating account name using variable, I want to pass the value in constructor. So I need to write a constructor for this. Just a minute, I am not able to write, so I will write here first. Constructor can be written for public as well, but for global as well. But I want class as a public, so I have changed global to public. Now, if I execute using this constructor, let's say I am passing value as send in the constructor. So now it will display in the debug account name and Sandy. Account helper. Oh, sorry. I am not passing. Variable HCC name. There is some issue in Salesforce developer console. Sometimes we are not able to write directly. So that's why I am writing in Notepad and pasting here. So if I click here, you will see the output in debug. Okay, which the same variable value which I am passing in constructor will be printed here. Okay, so this is our, it's not default constructor, it's overloaded constructor that we are calling here. Okay, thank you guys. I hope you have understood the constructor as well. Now, if we now take an example of static. Okay. Let's say I want to create a variable as static. So static variable, oh my god, why I am not able to. What I will do is I will write in Salesforce setup. There are many ways, I will show you later in example. Okay. But for now, just develop it in developer console. Actually, Chrome introduced new feature that is for cross domain, calling cross domains. Okay, so that's why we start facing. After that, we start facing these kind of issues. So it may not be Salesforce who is responsible for this. It may be the new features which browser implemented. That's why we sometimes face issues in writing code in developer console. But anyways, in future we will write code in VS Code, or we have Salesforce extension as well. So now I will just a minute, let me go back. Instead of writing a new class, I will open the same class which I just got here. Account helper, account helper. Here we can write. So if I write it as static, as a public static integer total count. So this is a different example. Oh, let me take another. Let me take another class instead of this new. Instead of this one, I will take a new class. So here we have instance count as well as total count. This is a static variable and this is instance variable. So I will show you the difference. Okay, so I will call it like this. Counter 1, counter 2. So I have initialized the object. Now if I print C1 and C2, what do you think? What should be the output here? So if we print this one and this one, output will be 1. But here output will be 2. Why? Because it's a static. In every constructor, we are increasing the value of static variable. So what is the difference between instance and static variable? Static variable means one shared copy for class. Okay. Instance variable means separate copy for each object. Okay. So since we had instance count as a separate copy for each object, so it was incremented by 1 for each object, but total count was static. So when we increment it in first instance, it got increment by 1, and in the second, when we try to increment in second instance, it got increment by 1 again. Okay, since it's shared across all objects, so total was 2. Okay, I think you got it. Okay, so I think we are good. Thank you guys. See you soon in next session. Thank you.